LakeB2B has been selling business data since before Verified First was a category, a legacy list vendor built on human research teams and phone verification instead of self-serve software and live databases. No public pricing anywhere on the site, no instant checkout, no plan comparison page. We looked at what that older model actually claims to deliver and what it costs to buy into it today, in a market where most competitors publish a price before you ever talk to a person. Start with LakeB2B's own description of its process. The company says it runs an 11-stage data cleansing and verification pipeline: deduplication, syntax correction, role account checks, blacklist and complaint checks, bounce checks, spam and junk removal, and final validation before delivery. Backed by roughly 800 data research staff and more than 700 tele-verification agents who call to confirm names and titles by phone. LakeB2B also describes a daily feed from over 9,000 sources, web and social validation by its in-house team, emails refreshed roughly every 45 days, and quarterly SMTP and postal address rechecks on top of that. That's a genuinely large human verification operation on paper, the kind of infrastructure a self-serve database usually can't match because hundreds of researchers and callers are expensive to run at that scale month after month. But the buying model is built for that scale too, not for a self-serve list pool. LakeB2B doesn't publish per contact or per list pricing anywhere on its site. Every path we found, from the homepage to the data verification page, leads to a talk to our expert form instead of a number. Based on our own price checking against Quarvio's comparison research, the entry point into a managed LakeB2B engagement runs around $3,500 a month, positioned as a full campaign service rather than a one-time data purchase you can size to a single send. Quarvio's model sits at the opposite end of that spectrum entirely: publish the price, sell the list, one time, no monthly commitment, no sales call required, just to find out what a single contact costs. Three things matter if you're comparing this to a straightforward list purchase rather than a service retainer. First, there's no published price anywhere, which means every quote is negotiated individually, and the number you get depends on account size, region, and how the sales conversation goes. You can't price check it in advance the way you can with a self-serve vendor. Second, the entry point is a monthly managed engagement, not a one-time list. You're buying an outsourced research and calling team's time and attention, not simply a spreadsheet of contacts to plug into your own sending tool. Third, because phone-based tele-verification is baked into the price, LakeB2B is doing work most self-serve vendors don't attempt at all, which is exactly why the price floor sits so much higher than anything self-serve and why comparing the two on price alone slightly misses the point. So here's the price check at the volume we use across this whole series. A 5000 contact list through Quarvio, $129, one time, pre-verified before delivery, no ongoing commitment attached. The comparable entry point into a LakeB2B engagement, roughly $3,500 a month, for a managed service rather than a single list you can walk away from after one purchase. That gap isn't really the same product at two different prices. It's a one-time data purchase, compared against a monthly research and calling retainer that happens to also produce contacts as one output among several. To be fair to LakeB2B, an in-house team of hundreds of researchers and tele-verification agents is real capability, and for an enterprise account that wants someone else to run outbound calling and validation end-to-end, that's a legitimate reason to pay a retainer instead of buying a list and doing the verification work yourself. It's simply a different job than what a self-serve list buyer is trying to solve. One is buying an outsourced service with people attached, the other is buying data to plug into a sending tool they already own and run themselves. Our verdict: LakeB2B is a managed data and calling service dressed up like a database vendor built for enterprise teams who want someone else to own outreach research end-to-end, not a fit for a team that wants to own its own list and price it before committing to anything. In the stack we run, Quarvio supplies verified contacts at a transparent one-time price, instantly handles sending and warm-up. Informail keeps the inboxes clean and authenticated, and AimTalks runs LinkedIn outreach in parallel, off the email domain entirely. If you want a managed research team on retainer, LakeB2B is built for exactly that call. If you want a list you can price before you buy it, you're looking for a different kind of vendor entirely, and that's fine.